Hey everybody, it's Konami and K-Set? Mobile system, I'll talk about that shortly. Hey look, it's the Thing! It's Game Boy Advance, but it's the Thing! Hello there, Masher, Insane Buffoon, welcome to the stream, how's it going? Wow. We don't have enough memory for the entire opening, it's fine. So, what is this game? It's a Game Boy Advance title that is exclusive to Japan, and you can unlock digital trading cards. I don't know why they're called that. I don't know if you can trade them, but for getting to particular endings in the game, let's press start and get back to the menu. Now, mobile. I don't think I'm doing anything with this. Nope. See, here's the thing. There is an adapter in Japan that lets you hook up your Game Boy Advance to your mobile phone, your old 2000s mobile phone. And with it, you could download, I believe, an extra campaign for this game. And as far as I am aware, that campaign is lost media. So we are not doing that. It is utterly impossible. So instead, why don't we start ourselves a game? I think I'll choose File 1. Look, everybody, it's Silent Hill. It's Silent Hill 1 in visual novel form. Can you believe it? It's been a while since I have taken a vacation. I am driving my Jeep, heading towards the quiet resort town of Silent Hill. The sound of the engine reverberates in the darkness. Due to some slight car trouble earlier, it has become this late. Alright. I am Harry Mason. I am a run-of-the-mill writer. Her eyes closed, Cheryl sleeps peacefully in the passenger seat. Cheryl is my daughter. She is cheerful and lively, and the occasional carefree smile she shows me make me feel happy. I don't have very many relationships with people because of what I do for a living, so Cheryl's existence has become irreplaceable to me. Cheryl was very much looking forward to this trip. Although paved, this is still very much a mountain road. At this hour, there is little reason for any other drivers to be about. I push in the accelerator. There's no light off in the darkness. Oh, there's no light off in the darkness. Got it. I could depend only on my headlights, which is why I'm just gunning it in the middle of the night. Light reflects off the rearview mirror. It's a motorcycle. There is a motorcycle headed toward the same destination as we are at terrific speed at this late hour. With a roar, the motorcycle effortlessly passes by the side of my Jeep. The seal of the police. Perhaps there's been an accident or something, but I don't recall hearing about an accident or anything on the radio. Cheryl is sleeping. A child should not be awake at this hour. I wonder if she is dreaming about something. Tomorrow, I have plans to take her to the amusement park. Maybe she's dreaming about riding the merry-go-round. Yeah, alright. I glance over at Cheryl's sleeping face and then return my eyes forward. The lighted area of the road almost appears to be belched out from the darkness as it moves towards me. Huh? Something enters my field of view. Ah! It's the motorcycle from just before. It is lying on its side on the shoulder of the road. No doubt about it. It's the same motorcycle that just passed me. There is no sign of the driver. It looks like the driver smashed into the surface of the rocks by the side of the road while trying to avoid some kind of obstacle, and thus that part of the motorcycle has been destroyed. We didn't hear it? Yeah, Dragon Ace about that merry-go-round. What are you talking about? What does Cheryl have to do with merry-go-rounds? I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, I carefully checked the way in... I think you could just say which. You don't need in which. I checked the way which my vehicle is headed in. I checked the way which my vehicle is headed. Toward which? Whatever. However, I don't see anything that could be an obstacle to my advance in the area illuminated by the headlights. A strange atmosphere creeps in around me. The radio reception begins to become erratic. Perhaps I should turn back? But my foot persistently pushes down the accelerator with no intention of letting off. But the motorcycle crashed, dude. Shouldn't you maybe, like, be a little careful? You can no longer turn back now. Something murmurs within me. Please increase your speed some more, something murmurs within me. Oh, someone this time. Cheryl's eyes are closed. She is dreaming. I know that I should be awake, but what is this uneasy feeling? I feel as if my body is not totally my own. It's like some strange being that is not me, is controlling me. Like I am floating. My eyelids are heavy. As the steering wheel leaves my hand, it creates the illusion of setting the course on its own. What? Freezing cold. Uneasiness. Almost like being ready to fall asleep. I am just barely conscious, and now at my limit to maintain even that. Ah! When I saw the human figure on the road, I cut the wheel hard, and then there was nowhere else for my Jeep and I to go but down into the darkness below the cliff. And yeah, the loading icon's to Flores. I like that. The silence pierces my ears. As the wind blew, it was accompanied by piercing cold. Where am I? I can feel light faintly passing through my eyelids. I don't seem to be hurt. That much is clear to me because I don't feel any pain in my body. No, perhaps I've suffered an injury that doesn't cause any pain? I slowly try opening my heavy eyelids. Out of season, snow is pouring into the town. Other than the sound of droplets of ice hitting the ground, there is nothing else to be heard. Silent Hill. That is what is assuredly written on the sign by the side of the road. Without even realizing it, Cheryl and I have reached our destination. Well, hooray! Well, game over, everybody. Thank you very much for joining the stream. All my memories up to that point are gone. The wind is blowing in. When I take a look next to me, I am shocked. The passenger door has been left open. Cheryl is nowhere to be seen. Silent Hill. This town, which should just be a resort area, appears to have become just like a ghost town for some reason. Or maybe it was waiting for us to arrive. Or perhaps the town just nestled up to us? What? So now I am alone. Cheryl is not here. While I was knocked out, Cheryl opened the passenger door and stepped out alone into this tourist spot that is ruled by an unsettling silence. And then she left me to head somewhere. I tightly closed my jacket around my neck, yeah, I could tell, and set off on foot in search of Cheryl. I wondered what in the world happened here. Nothing makes any sense. The silence, the out-of-season snow, and strangest of all, the entire town is wrapped in a thick fog. It's good for cutting draw distance, you see. So, Cheryl's destination is... Is there no one in the town? You know what? I'm gonna leave this one to chat. What should I do, chat? Does it matter? I'm ever so curious. I'll let you take the reins for this one. This ought to be good. Because this thing is a VN. Who knows where we're going? Like, I have a guide for getting the good ending if I really want to go back and run through all this, but for the first playthrough, who knows? So I see an option B. We have our options for sure. B, A, B. We're going back and forth. Well, alright. Yeah, most people are going with B. Alright, is there no one in the town? I thought, I must find out if there is anyone other than myself here. This is definitely Silent Hill. I recognize the signboard on that store. A long time ago, when I was young, I visited here once. All the doors on the shops and houses are tightly shut. No. Among them, there is one shop with its door open, but there is no sign of anyone here. Or inside, excuse me. It feels like just the people here suddenly vanished. I begin to run. Only the sounds of my footsteps echo in the surroundings. Just where in the world has Cheryl gone? Did someone lead her away? Various concerns run through my mind. Ta-ta-ta-ta. Onomatopoeia for footsteps. That's great. I suddenly get the feeling that I heard footsteps other than my own, so I stop moving right away to check it out. Through the thick fog, I can see a figure that is about the size of a child. Cheryl? Without a thought, I cry out. The figure doesn't move at all. At the moment I begin to move slowly towards the figure, it starts to run. I fiercely chase after the figure. That's definitely Cheryl. Even though it is faint, I would not mistake someone else for Cheryl. However, no matter how much I run, I cannot catch up. Instead, the figure is gradually getting farther away from me. The figure puts on speed, as if it is gliding through the air. The figure appears to be absorbed by the fog as it begins to disappear. In order not to lose it, I run with all my strength while keeping my vision centered on the figure. I then notice that I have come to an alley surrounded by buildings. I don't know how, but it is like a cover was placed over the sky, which had provided light until now, and the area has become engulfed in darkness. From the darkness, I can hear multiple footsteps coming this way. I don't know who it is. I'll take a look. I'm going to get out of here. I don't have anything with me that could be used as a weapon. Alright, chat, we have another option. What's it gonna be? We know what happens canonically. We investigate and take a look and get knocked out, but this is a sort of alternate tale, so who knows? I see the get out of here option. Anyone else want to weigh in on this one? Ah, hello there, Lou. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? And hello there, Overlord Mao. Welcome to the stream. How are ya? I'm seeing multiple votes for B. Looks like this is unanimous this time. Alright. I'm out of here. I've got to get away, but I can't go back the way I came because that eerie presence is back there. So I move further in. I can only move gradually through the narrowing pitch-black alley by feeling around with my hands. But I only end up reaching a dead end. Metal fences surround the area, and they are so high that I don't think I could climb over them. They're coming from behind. I stood ready. What are they? With beast-like rage, they have closed in to right where I am. Ah! Oh, that actually said ah. And then my vitality is sucked away by these strangely shaped monsters until I finally lose consciousness. Sybil Bennett. She is a full-time police officer working in the neighboring town of Brahms. There was no one else in the cafe other than her and Harry. She took a seat at the counter and waited for Harry to awaken. Whoa! PS1 cutscene on the Game Boy Advance, how did... I suddenly awoke. Where is this place? Why am I here? Was I brought here by someone? There is no boundary between dream and reality, just confusion. As I lay on the bench seat in the cafe, my eyes slowly begin to focus. It should be as I lie on the bench. The woman sitting at the counter stands and folds her arms. She walks over and looks down at me. Ah, she faded in. How did... She's wearing a police uniform. The woman smiles a little bit, as she appears to be relieved that I ever gained consciousness. It looks like you have come around. Who are you? Oh, who are you? I try talking to the unfamiliar woman. I'm Sybil. Sybil Bennett. I'm here because all communication with this town suddenly went dead, and so I came to investigate. I'm Harry Mason. I brought my daughter to this town for some sightseeing, but on the way there was an accident and I lost consciousness. Oh, yeah, Sybil. You haven't seen a little girl in this town, have you? A little girl? No, I haven't seen her. When I came to after the accident, my daughter was nowhere to be seen. The passenger door was open and she was gone. Cheryl? Sorry, my daughter's name is Cheryl. She's a timid person, so it's hard to imagine that she headed out into this weird town alone. Plus, I was there in the driver's seat, and since she gave me no warning, it just doesn't make sense. Are you familiar with this area? There's no sign of anyone. And what is going on with the snow at this time of year? Just what in the world has happened in this town? I said all this while breathing deeply. Oh, nice. Okay, so... And what in the world has happened in this town? I'm afraid I don't know either. I still haven't seen anyone other than you. It's like the town is as silent as a graveyard. Ooh. Left without even the means to contact any neighboring towns. I see. You also had an accident, right? I thought it was a good idea to head to the police station in this town alone on my motorcycle. But I guess I was going a little too fast. A girl suddenly jumped out into the road. I'm pretty sure it was a girl. I almost hit her. I cut the handlebars hard in order to avoid her. After that, I can barely remember anything. When I came to, I was lying in the street in front of this cafe. So naturally, I came in here to get out of the snow. And then I found you sleeping there. I was having some kind of a terrible dream. As for if I made it here on my own, I don't remember at all. Just what in the world has happened in this town? What is going on with everything? Well, the situation is definitely strange. I will head back to Brahms for reinforcements, and then return here. How about you? Sybil stood and fixed her collar with resolute fortitude. I've got to look for Cheryl. There's no way I could just leave her here alone. I see. Well, I'll give you this then. You never know what might happen under these circumstances. If you feel threatened, then pull the trigger without hesitating. I'm gonna get reinforcements. You, some guy, just shoot a bunch of stuff, I don't know. I take the gun into my hand. Thanks. I hope I don't have to use it. Thank you, but I'm no good with guns. Chat, what's it gonna be? Polite accept, polite refuse. I'm actually curious about this one. I wonder how much it, like, really matters. So, any opinions on this matter? Note that nothing weird has happened to them yet. You know what? Fair. I'm getting a surprising amount of B votes, I gotta say. Alright, let's do it. Thank you, but I'm no good with guns. I haven't even touched one. I can't handle it. Amazed, Sybil takes a deep breath. It's simple. I'll show you how to use it. See, first hold it in your right hand, then place your forefinger on the trigger. I reluctantly followed her instructions. Like this? Yes. Now place your left hand on your right hand so that it doesn't move. Then all you have to do is slide this, fix your aim, and pull the trigger. Like this. Blam! Wait, are you, what? I actually fired? What a jackass! Bang. The bullet grazes Sybil's cheek and penetrates the wall of the cafe. One of the pictures on the wall falls. Wow. We're playing, like, Silent Hill Jackass Edition. I can't believe it. Hello, Anthony. Let's listen to audios. Welcome to the stream. Boy, you came in at a real good time. Oh my god. Oh, do I fire the gun like this and I almost just kill her? Oh yeah, we're getting the good ending for sure. Hey, you need to watch it. I'm sorry, I was just doing what you said, and it just... No, it's not, and it just a few centimeters over, and you would have been a murderer. I lost even more self-confidence. Well, it's all right. Please use it carefully. Are you serious? I don't think I would trust him with that. Well, then I'm going. The sound of the door closing reverberated woefully inside the cafe. Strike 1, 2, and 3, Harry. Oh my god. Almost literally unbelievable. After being left alone in the cafe, I gazed at the handgun Sybil gave me for a little while, and then I thought about Cheryl, who had disappeared in this town. The figure I saw in the fog, that was definitely Cheryl, but she didn't answer my calls, and she was quite possibly moving away from me? I don't understand. I'm getting a bit mixed up. Still, the one thing I know for sure is that Cheryl has vanished in this town. All I can do is look for her. I may not have any knowledge of the surroundings or any clues, but I won't find Cheryl if I stay here. I stood up energetically and placed my hand on the cafe door. Are you gonna explain the onomatopoeia? Something is making noise. Huh? What is that noise? It's somewhere inside the cafe. It's somewhere outside the cafe. Oh, wow. Hey, chat. This is a wildly different set of answers. What do I do? Now, you'll remember in the original Silent Hill, one of those bird creatures broke into the cafe. So I guess it was outside and then it was inside. So I don't know. This is kind of a crapshoot. Does it matter? Let's go canon inside the cafe. Kiki mama. Yeah, for real. I'm seeing mixed votes though. Like again, in the PS1 game it was outside, but then it goes inside. And yeah, Dragon Ace, so far choices haven't mattered. Yeah, a lot of the choices are just for different flavor texts, but there is a flowchart in this game. There are choices that matter. It looks like people are leaning a little more toward canon, though. So it's inside the cafe. Alright. I look around the cafe, I walk in the direction the noise is coming from, and then I pick up the source of the noise. Radio? What's going on with that radio? At that moment, the window glass shattered with a thunder and a giant bird-like creature flew into the cafe. Hey, there we go. Oh, wow. This is new for the Game Boy, I think. No, it is not a bird. It is a creature with reddish-brown skin that looks as if it has been burned. Ah, hello there, Angry Psycho. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? We got a scary monster, everybody! In its belligerent, pale green eyes, it is clear that my life is in danger. I hide underneath a table. Ready the handgun in my inexperienced hands. Or we have an option C. Get the hell out of there. Wow. JPEG. What's going on with that JPEG? So, chat, what am I gonna do? We have an embarrassment of riches. Look at all the options. Don't even deal, fire it, and probably suck, or maybe not. I mean, you kill it in the game, right? Get the hell out of there. Its vision is based on movement. Nothing in canon seems to indicate that. But I'm seeing clashing votes once again. Okay, it looks like we're leaning toward the table. Wow, alright. I hide underneath the table. Let's do it. I immediately hid underneath a nearby table. However, it was smarter than I thought. At a glance, its legs appeared thin, but it spreads them wide and uses its long nails as a tool to lift the table up. It's terrifying. And then lets out a loud laugh? Is that a thing that happens? I don't have a choice. I have to try and fight, but if I randomly fire blindly, then I'll only waste bullets. That's it. I must set my aim. Its body. When it spreads its wings, at that moment, when its body is undefended, I will... It swings its large arm-like wing down at me, and using that weapon, it just misses my neck. This is my chance. The target is its body. Mumbling, I tell myself that. However, I can't fix my aim very well. My hands are shaking. Oh? When that single bullet hit it, it finally lost its life force and fell to the floor like a rag. Well, damn, nice shot, Harry. What the hell? This is not a dream. What's happening to this place? Only the sound of my fist hitting the table echoes in the cafe. At my feet, the still warm corpse of the creature lies in the center of a pool of oddly colored liquid. After leaving the cafe, I decided to first head toward that alley from before. Oh, that's very scary. Black figures fly about in the heavens as if searching for prey. I then come to realize a constant. What? I think I know what it means. What? The static on the radio changes based on their movements. The closer the monsters come to me, the louder the static gets. My sight is hindered by the fog, and on top of that, the weather is so bad that snow is falling. So this is extremely important information. I run through the snow that appears to have no intention of stopping. Increasing my speed each time the static comes in on the radio, I proceed into the fog. Following the thin thread of my memory, I finally arrive at the alley from before. The evil atmosphere has dissipated, and light pours in along with snow from in between the buildings. I move into the alley and it dead ends after a bit. At the end of the alley, I see a familiar sketchbook that appears to have been thrown away. The likeness of me that Cheryl drew is on the cover of the sketchbook. This is definitely Cheryl's. Sketchbook opens. I try opening it. Inside the following is written in red ink. To school. Along 11th Street, I slip through the back door of a house that had a doghouse and then head for the school. The surroundings gradually fill with darkness, and only the flashlight on my chest illuminates this strange street. Hey look, we're at the dungeon, we did it! I pass through the entrance to the elementary school grounds. When I open the door that leads into the school building, I see that even more darkness is waiting for me inside. It is possible that Cheryl scribbled those letters to school. I can't be sure whether Cheryl is here or not, it's just that I haven't a clue other than that sketchbook. A guide map of the school has been tacked to the side wall of the entrance with a rusted thumbtack. After removing the map from the wall, I place it in my pocket and push open the heavy door that leads into the interior of the school building. Ooh, moody. My footsteps and the creaking of the hallway. They sound like screams as their reverberations rock my eardrums. I had been walking carefully step by step, but without realizing it I had begun to run. It says I had began, but I had begun. There was no sign of anyone. The silent innards of the school building are dark, and with only the flashlight on my chest it is impossible for me to see any of the details. Cheryl doesn't have a flashlight, so if she came in here and got lost, then she probably wouldn't even be able to walk around. Since I have my flashlight turned on, she should be able to notice me easily. At least I have that modest hope. I then notice that I have come to the entrance to the music room. I place my hand on the heavy door. When I open the door, I see that the inside of the room is large, and there is a grand piano placed in its center. As I sit on the chair of the piano, I am shocked. The seat is still warm, as if someone had been sitting here just a few minutes before. Cheryl's smile runs through the back of my mind. Cheryl often played the cheap upright piano in our home. It had become nice background music when I was working. Perhaps Cheryl had come to the music room. Well, this is some deep lore I wasn't privy to before. Oh my god, the bird puzzle? I gently open the cover over the piano keys. I notice that there is red mixed in among the black and white. I try touching the liquid. It has a lukewarm feel. It is still holding heat. It is definitely blood. I hope this isn't Cheryl's blood. My heart pounds in my chest like an alarm bell. The large amount of blood spilled on the keys. If this is Cheryl's blood, then she may no longer be alive. I wipe the stain off my hands onto my jeans, stand, and leave the music room. This puzzle's way too hard. At the same time I close the door, The door thought I heard someone scream. Maybe it was just my imagination. I walk down the hallway. The sleety mixture of snow pounds hard against the windows facing the courtyard. I take a look through a window down at the dark courtyard. The not-so-large courtyard is dotted with areas in which withered plants are growing. Yeah, that makes sense. In addition to that, an old clock tower is faintly visible. From here I cannot determine what time the clock is pointing to. Wait. Something appears to be wriggling about in the darkness. An animal? No. It's dark and I can't see so well, but it is slowly moving on two legs. It appears to be searching for prey. It appears to be censored in Europe. At that moment, the radio I had clipped to my chest suddenly began making noise. As I returned my sight to the hallway, a sharp pain runs through my thigh. Ah! When I look down, I see that the tips of those long claws are piercing my thigh. Those oddly shaped monsters. They are posed like they want to hug me and have gathered around my waist. They are about to bite me. I instantly pushed the monster away with my hands. I readied the handgun and fired. Do you care? Ugh, touching that thing with your bare hands. Like, I don't know how well you're gonna do against a bunch of monsters with your gun, but shoving them, ugh. So I'm seeing the opinion for firing the gun. I wonder if this game keeps track of ammo. And that slight swaying, I gotta say, is pretty eerie. Everyone's going for B. When in doubt, high five. Winterburn, you gotta be kidding me. Alright, we are shooting this thing. I instantaneously readied the handgun I was carrying and fired at the monster. Ow! I hit it, but its long claws dug deeper into my thigh, widening the wound. With my right hand, I push on its head part with force and knock it away. We'll take that. It then totters and falls down on its face. That was when I noticed that I had been... What? I readied the gun. I fixed my aim in their heads and pulled the trigger with my trembling index finger. I continue to shoot as each one of them appears. The smoke from the gunpowder began to fill the air around me, so I placed one hand over my mouth. And yeah, fuck, if I had to think about that, but I think we are the one who went, ow. Even after the noise on the radio had stopped, I could only stand there, paralyzed in utter amazement among their corpses. Is Cheryl alright? She shouldn't have been carrying anything that could be used as a weapon. I began running. I can't just stand around. There's not a moment to lose. Cheryl is waiting for me. Wait a minute. Suddenly my vision became hazy or something, and I rubbed my eyes. When I look back, I see that all the bodies of the monsters have unexpectedly vanished. What? Was I hallucinating or something? Ah, hello there, Tyler. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? And I thought the first Silent Hill movie was good for a video game movie, but it tries to be Silent Hill 2 and the plot of Silent Hill 1 for no reason. Oh, and let's listen to audios. There are no game overs, but there are potentially bad ends. I pulled a guide map out of my inner pocket and shined the flashlight on it. And then I confirmed that there's a boiler room located in the basement. My feet naturally began to take me there. I descend the stairs to the basement, taking one step at a time. A school building without light. As I move forward, I am beset on all sides by absolute darkness. As I head towards new fear and new enemies, my feet have no intention of stopping their advance. But oddly enough, I don't have a sense of justice. I just want to make sure that Cheryl is safe. To catch her in my arms. That is my only goal. The boiler is not running. If I simply press the switch in front of me, then this eerie machine should begin operating. However, I just stand still. I try pushing the switch, but the boiler doesn't do anything at all. So I try opening the switchboard cover below the switch. It appears that I must somehow supply power from the main power supply to the boiler. The power supply is on the right. From the left of the switchboard, a thick pipe extends out and is connected to the boiler. Yep, we're actually doing this. We have a legit puzzle, which is kind of amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and save us some time here. Okay, I do this with the arrows, of course I do. So let's do boom, boom. I think you just guess and check this one. Got it. I have an instinctive feeling that by pushing this switch, that something outrageous may happen. What? Although at the same time, I also notice my daughter Cheryl's scream run through my heart, like a sense of duty that makes me feel that I must push the switch, if you say so. I slowly push the switch in. The entire school building shudders as if it were a giant ship. That really threw me, because it said the entire school building and then the entire elementary school building. I thought I was rereading myself. The entire elementary school building appears as if it has been swallowed by Cheryl's heart as she stands alone in the darkness. I understand that I must do something. To the courtyard, the darkness softly whispers to me. The clock tower looks to be about tall enough to reach the 3rd floor of the school. At its base, there's a small door about big enough for an adult to enter while bent down. Oh good, we're going to the other world. The door solemnly opened. After opening, the door seems to beckon the one standing in front of it to enter with an irresistible mental energy. You know, I gotta say, we shift from present tense to past a lot. I cannot resist that power. As I enter, the door closes with a hopeless thunder. That was the hopeless thunder. Inside the clock tower, a physiologically loathsome stench hung in the air. However, the smile of my beloved daughter in my heart lessens my uneasiness and lets me forget my fear, if even for only a moment. Reassured, I place my foot on the ladder leading underground with my greatest motive, called love. This writing is bizarre. The inside finally became a small passage about large enough for an adult. I run. Trusting that I will see her smile ahead, I run forward, stomping on concrete stained with the smell of death. Wow. Once I climb the ladder at the end of the tunnel, there will be no going back. I mutter Cheryl's name one more time. The depressing sound of the door closing echoes throughout the courtyard. Where am I? A raw, warm breeze brushes past my cheeks. The view lets me know that this is like a completely different world from the school I was just in. Once again, I think, where am I? Uh-oh. I descend the small stairs leading away from the clock tower and become even more convinced. An extremely religious-looking design has been drawn in the center of the courtyard. Within a large double circle, a triangle has been placed, and within that, a strange pattern that looks like hieroglyphics is drawn. I don't remember this being here before, I mutter. This is definitely the school I was just in. The placement of the trees, the construction of the building. However, an overpowering feeling of nausea rises up throughout my body. A revolting, horrible smell, like that of the stench of cutting into rotten meat, thickly wafts throughout the air, and is nearly visible to the eye. I begin to run. I can no longer bear to stay in this spot. By the time I place my hand on the door that leads inside the school building, I no longer have the strength left to tell how long I was running. Maybe it was only for an instant. Ooh, listen to this. The school building has dramatically changed. Metal-grated floors, blood-covered walls, corpse-like puppets hanging everywhere. It's like a nightmarish scene in which everything is isolated from the real world. In spite of that, I run. I'm searching for Cheryl. Oh wow, this music. The unpleasant metallic sounds of my footsteps resonate throughout the inside of the school. And then I open the door to the teacher's room. Perhaps the door is not installed correctly, as it took me several forceful tries to force it open. Once I enter the room, I am shocked. Desks are strewn about, and a raw, rotten stench rules the room. I call the police to get help. Call home where no one should be. Wow. Alright. Let's see what we have decided on. I see mostly A, call the police to get help. It's kinda close, but it looks like we're mostly going with call the police. With slight hope, I pick up the telephone receiver. Just as I had guessed, the depressing busy signal just repeats over and over again. As I gently hang up the telephone receiver, I realize that all means for contacting the outside world have already been lost. I must find Cheryl right away and escape from this insane world with her. I begin to leave the room. It's like straight out of JoJo Part 5. My heart rapidly contracts. The mechanical bell sound echoes throughout the room. I nervously approach the telephone and once again pick up the receiver. Daddy, help me. It's Cheryl! There is no mistaking it. I firmly press the receiver against my ear. Daddy, where are you? Cheryl! Is this Cheryl? At that moment, Cheryl's voice is replaced with a busy signal. I knew it. I think. Cheryl is here. Being located in the residential area, many children probably come to this school. The interior of the elementary school is larger than I imagined. Including classrooms, there are a lot of rooms, so locating Cheryl will be extremely difficult. If Cheryl wasn't brought here by someone and instead came here of her own free will, then perhaps she might be in that one room. Oh my god, the principal's office, she got in trouble! I spin around, like a record baby, run to the stairs at the end of the hall, and then sprint up them. Yeah, Winterburn, I knew it, maybe. That's such a weird thing. I have come to the library, and my eyes are drawn to the open book here. It was... Alright, now chat, I'm going to point this out. This choice actually matters. This will affect the flowchart. It was a children's book, a pharmaceutical book, a dictionary of religious science. What's it going to be? So are we actually changing what the book is? This feels a little bizarre to me. Like, are we just misunderstanding what it really is, or are we just choosing what it is? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Yeah, in an elementary school? You know, fair. But I'm seeing mixed results here. I'm seeing all the results. Oh no. Don't make me be a tiebreaker. Like, for realism, clearly A. But for interesting plot development, B or C? It looks like we're mostly going with B, actually. Alright, let's do it. A pharmaceutical book. White Claudia. Perennial herb found near water. Reaches height of 30 to 40 centimeters. Oblong leaves, white blossoms. Seeds contain hallucinogen. Ancient records show it was used for religious ceremonies. The hallucinogenic effect was key. The next page is all blurred. From the above-mentioned White Claudia has to perform excerpt. It is a viscous liquid, red color, and is remedy illnesses for which the cause is not. I become gripped with the sense that my actions have been controlled by someone this entire time. Coming to the library, seeing that specific page in the open book, even whatever it is that I must do now, it is a decision that is out of my hands. Everything that has happened has been in someone's hands. I have gradually come to understand this. Even still, I probably cannot determine my own course. I accept the direction of the unseen one to whom I must obey. In order to find Cheryl, there is no other alternative. I now know where it is I need to go. As I journey there, I walk firmly, stepping forward one step at a time. I descend a staircase from which uncomfortably warm air flows and find an elevator at its base that invites me to descend even further as its doors slowly open. Once I enter, doors close, and in the next moment, with a rusty clunk sound, the elevator begins to descend at a high rate of speed. Just how far down is it going? All I can do is go with the flow. Whoa, hello. Gradually, the elevator and I are enveloped in hot, humid air. The elevator stops and I step off as its doors open. Beyond a short passage, a dazzling light emitted from a small room which has been waiting for my arrival. Oh my goodness! In the center, the fires of hell burned, and everything made it look like this room was meant for prayer, and then it was there. It slowly moved around the enormous sconce from which flames and ash rose. The lizard looks to have suddenly mutated. Its outer shell is a mucous membrane type. It just stares at me. And with surprisingly comfortable speed, it looks for a chance to attack. Here, I fired the gun at its large body. I'm no match for this enemy with the weapons I'm carrying. Running is the best bet. Do we have a preference, ladies and gentlemen? Also, I don't remember how big this thing is. So, I don't know if we're petting this thing, petting the puppy or what. Or if it's head crab sized. Like, I imagine this thing being, like, very large. So do we have a preference for, what to do with this thing? Yeah, the game is trying to influence our decisions, no doubt. So I'm seeing multiple options again. Yeah, B, find a shotgun, no kidding. I wish. And it looks like we're leaning in that direction. So alright. I can't fight this thing. I was overwhelmed by its size. I've got to escape. I don't stand a chance with a feeble weapon in my pocket. I look for an escape route. However, the entrance I came through is now closed by a thick, solid metal fence, without any opening which I could slide through. I cannot escape. At that moment, a part of my memory was suddenly awakened. Definitely. In the library! In the teacher's room! What's it gonna be, everybody? We have another decision. And I don't even remember what it is we're supposed to be remembering. Shows how good I am at this game. I'm seeing a vote for the library. I mean, we certainly found a thing in the library. Suddenly I remembered. The capital of Canada. Yes, it must be that. It looks like we're leaning toward A in the library. I remember that book I just picked up not too long ago. Its contents run about in my head. While paying very close attention to the movements of my opponent, I recall its passages. White Claudia, perennial herb, remedies over that. Hallucinogen. An herb with hallucinogenic effects. However, no measures for dealing with the monster that I'm now faced with were written in the book. Oh, were we supposed to get the Whoa. I think we were supposed to get the children's book. Because remember, this was a storybook monster? You shoot it when it opens its mouth? I'm in danger. When I returned to my senses, its wide-open mouth was right in front of me, opened in a way that suggested that it planned to swallow me whole. It's too late. I was caught in its mouth, easily lifted, and then crushed by its teeth as I fell inside it. Really? Really? When I came to, I found myself in the middle of a dark room. Okay, so it wasn't a bad end, but it was a bad scenario. Where is this? I wondered to myself. The monster from before has vanished. I heavily stood up and then waited motionless for a bit until my eyes came into focus. Somehow this looks to be the boiler room. It is oddly quiet. Maybe I was dreaming. My very exhausted body seems to have also recovered somehow. The low hum of the boiler strangely calms my nerves. And then I sense the presence of a person and I shift my gaze. There was a girl standing there. She was wearing dark blue clothing and her light brown hair was neatly combed. The girl was just staring right at me. Once I noticed her and began to step towards her, she completely disappeared as if her body just dissolved into the air in the room. I was alone in the room again. Yeah, just like that. What was that? A strange feeling of relief. After standing for a bit, I let out a long breath and then placed my hand on the door at the entrance. Ah, Jesus. Sunlight is shining into the hall of the school building. As usual, the snow is still outside, but I am gripped with a strange feeling of relief, as if cancerous cells had just been removed from me. Filled with relief, I slowly walk toward the exit of the school building, and then I learn that Cheryl is not here. From the loud sound of the church bells seem to call out to me. I begin to run toward the church in a road half covered in mud. Snow falls above my head, some of which freezes my hair as chilly air flows by. When I reach the church, I push open the heavy door without hesitation. Ah! It's you! It's you! A cross is mounted on the front wall. Long benches are lined up on both sides of a small walkway. It was as if time had stopped for this familiar-style church. In front of the altar, yeah, we're good. A sly-looking woman with cold eyes looks down at me with an eerie grin. As I walked up to her, stepping one step at a time, she gazed at me without blinking. She looked as if she had predicted that I would arrive. Predicted with gyromancy! Were you ringing that bell? The woman snorted with a humph. I've been expecting you. Yes, it was foretold by gryomancy. I mean, we know. It's gyromancy. What are you talking about? I knew you'd come. You want the girl, right? The girl? You're talking about Cheryl? My eyes grew wide. I see everything. You know something? Tell me. Stay back. The woman held the palm of her hand out at me and then lowered her chin in a way that suggested, please calm down. Nothing is to be gained by floundering about at random. You must follow the path of the hermit, concealed by Flaros. What? What are you talking about? I asked once more without hiding my bewilderment. Here, the Flaros, a cage of peace. It can break through the walls of darkness and counteract the wrath of the underworld. These will help you. Make haste to the hospital before it's too late. The woman held up a strange object and then softly placed it on the desk on top of the altar. Wait, don't go yet! I will believe that woman's story. Her story was unclear and I don't understand it. I can't just carelessly believe her. Oh boy, what's it gonna be? I could go for a gyro or a hero, actually. So I'm seeing a vote for no, I don't get it. I'm seeing a vote for believer, She seems on the level to me. I mean, she sees everything with gyromancy, so we're believing her, baby. She lives here. I choose to believe her story without objection. All that remains in the church is the reverberations of the sound of a door closing. I go after that woman. I'm convinced that that woman definitely knows some secret of some sort. However, the knob on the door that she went through will not turn at all. It must be locked from the other side. Damn! Now I'm the only one left in the church. Almost as if taken from a nightmare, this space is heat. This warmth, it feels like it's protecting me from something. That's the best way to describe the heat. I move away from the door and begin walking to the altar that woman was at. The object that the woman was just holding has been placed there. The Flaros. That is certainly what that woman had called this. I try picking it up, and then I place it back on top of the desk right away. It is power. The overwhelming power of the gods rests inside this four-sided object. It was a sensation like an electrical current passing into the palm of my hand, and then power moving throughout every nook and cranny in my body. I pick it up once more. This time I calmly take it into my hand and then place it in my pocket. For some reason, I'm convinced that this object will help me find Cheryl. I pick up the key that was next to the Flaros, open the door of the church, and rush out into the heatless snow world again. Hospital. That woman certainly said something about one. Alchemilla Hospital. The only hospital I could find on the map was that one. I could see my breath as I exhaled while I headed toward the entertainment district. The bridge to the entertainment district has been raised so that boats can pass by it in the river below. In other words, it's split in the middle and is fixed in a raised position that makes it look like the Japanese katakana character, that. I enter the nearby drawbridge control room, place the key I was holding into the control panel, and forcefully turn it to the right. While emitting a sound like an old woman laughing, the bridge finally begins to lower, inviting me to the entertainment district. After crossing the bridge, I shudder. The temperature is gradually declining, or maybe it's just a result of the thing inside me that protrudes nervousness and fear. On this wide road, there is not a single motorcycle running. I'm running right down the center of it. If I continue toward Alchemilla Hospital, should be on the right. Oh, look, there it is. An old building appears in the thick fog. On the signboard, Alchemilla appears in faded letters. Its eeriness caused me to hesitate for an instant, but in the next moment I place my hand on the cold gate. I open the heavy hospital gate, and then open the door directly to my right that has entrance written on it. The inside of the hospital is wrapped in silence. To the left, there's a reception area in which various papers are neatly placed on a shelf. Waiting benches are lined up along the back of this hall, and a television is pointed at them. I do not feel the presence of any patients or even any people. Only faint light pours into the windows in the cloudy sky. The hall is filled with a trace scent of alcohol which penetrates my nose. I begin walking. After passing through the waiting room, I reach a long corridor. I open the door marked Examination Room. Jeez. At almost the exact same time as I opened the door, a man inside jumped out of his chair. He's holding a handgun in his right hand. I hid behind the door in a panic. Immediately counterattack with my gun. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What's it gonna be? Shoot, I hate this fucker. Any other options? Everybody's doing that. Counterattack! I instantly readied my gun. That plump man appeared to realize that I was a human, but as soon as he saw the gun, his eyes grew wide. Hold it! Stop! Don't shoot! Wait, I'm not here to fight! After I lowered my gun, the man sat down in his chair in a way that showed that he was relieved. Thank God, another human being. My name is Harry Mason. I'm in town on vacation. Do you work here? The man nodded. I was truly relieved. Silent Hill, which has become a habitat for strange monsters. This is my first contact with someone from this town. I'm Dr. Michael Kaufman. I work at this hospital. So maybe you could tell me what's going on? That man who called himself Kaufman once again stirs in the chair he is sitting in. I really can't say. I was taking a nap in the staff room. When I woke up, it was like this. Everyone seems to have disappeared, and it's snowing out. This time of year. He looks off at the floor of the examination room. There on the floor, the corpse of a still warm monster lay on its side. Something's gone seriously wrong. Did you see those monsters? Have you ever seen such aberrations? Ever even heard of such things? You and I both know creatures like that don't exist. Yeah. And then I turned to face him as I realized something. Have you seen a little girl around anywhere? I'm looking for my daughter. She's only 7. Short black hair. She's missing? I'm sorry, but with all those monsters around, I highly doubt that she's... Sorry. I didn't mean to alarm you. Your wife, she's here with you? She died 4 years ago. Now it's just me and my daughter. I see. I'm sorry. Well, I better be going. I can't just sit around here doing nothing. So long. Good luck out there. Bang. The examination room door shuts powerlessly. Dr. Michael Kaufman. Oddly enough, I have completely memorized that name. Huh? I suddenly noticed there's something on the floor that looks like a white scrap of paper. What is this? I pick it up. Letters have been disorderly scribbled on it. Arrival tomorrow morning. Be prepared. What is this? Check to see if there's anything else. Go after Kaufman. Oh my goodness. What's it gonna be? I'm quite curious. I'm seeing check around. Anything else? Yeah, weirdly, I remember the name of the person I just met. Yeah, you figure it out. Yeah, we're getting multiple A votes here. Alright, let's check. I carefully look around on the floor, but it doesn't appear that anything else interesting has been dropped. I look all around the examination room. Up until a short time ago, this was just a normal room in a hospital with its various instruments and tools all about, each aptly arranged per function. Only people have been erased from this normal scene, making the situation unnatural. I leave the examination room, I pass through the medicine room, and reach a planked floor corridor that silently extends in an L shape. I move forward and found that there was an elevator with a large door at the end of the corridor. I try pressing the buttons beside it. Nothing happens. It looks like the power is off. There are several doors in the corridor. I begin opening each one in order. I open the door marked Meeting Room, head inside, and close the door behind me. A large table rests in the center of this room, and I notice that there is something glittering on top of it. I grasp the light green key, leave the room, and once again step into the chilly corridor. The next room looks to be the kitchen. I guess that the food for the patients is probably prepared here. Various bronze cooking utensils are neatly arranged in order on the stainless steel countertop. It does not appear that anything terribly important is here. I carefully look to the various cooking utensils. Inside a large pot, there is nothing at all. While continuing to search to see if there might be some clue here or not, I notice that on the far wall, various objects have been scattered about. I carefully move forward on the wet floor as not to slip. Something is there. I reach out my hand toward the thing in front of me. Pick up the pet bottle? What? And pick up the kitchen knife. This is another important choice, by the way. So, what is it going to be? This is the most anticlimactic hospital. Yeah, what are you going to do? Yeah, pet bottle does it bite? I don't freaking know, man. What is a pet bottle? I don't know. This is weird as hell. Oof, we are divided here, but it looks like people are going with the bottle because of morbid curiosity. I move past one of the sinks and notice an empty pet bottle. What the? Sitting on the end of the counter. Perhaps this might come in handy for something. I mutter this and grab the empty pet bottle. Then I leave the kitchen. What? After leaving the kitchen, I head right and place my hand on the first door that I come to. I notice the words, Director's Office, out of the corner of my eye as I open the door. From inside the room, a strong stench overflows outward and causes me to feel dizzy. Someone has ransacked the room. Behind the desk that probably belongs to the director, several bottles have been broken, leaving red and blue liquid spilled all over the floor. If I use the pet bottle, scoop up the liquid. Red liquid, blue liquid, both. That's a legit question. In the game, I think it was red liquid, but I don't know what the hell's gonna happen if I do anything here. This eerie music. What am I scooping up with the pet bottle? The hell is this? Yeah, a couple people in chat are saying maybe this was in the pet cage. Like it's like a hamster water bottle or something. Fair enough. So I'm seeing pretty divided between red and purple. Nobody likes blue, huh? No, a couple people like blue. Alright. But we are like evenly divided between well, no, we might just eke it out with C. Alright, purple liquid, let's do it. I get out the pet bottle and use a fragment of the bottom section of one of the broken bottles to pour the purple liquid into the Nice. The sticky liquid drips into the pet bottle. The last drop lingered, but once it finally hit the surface of the liquid already inside the pet bottle, I tightly closed the cap and left the director's office. Freaking weird, man. I crept out into the corridor once more and stood in front of the door that was closest to the elevator. I open the door, and the reverberations of the sounds of it opening and then closing shake my eardrums. The walls are made of concrete, and a few steps into the staircase leading to the basement extends like the folds inside the body of a snake. It's dark and difficult to see, but it looks like there's a door at the bottom of the staircase. Be brave, I muttered to myself. Leaving only the echoes of my footsteps, I descend the staircase to hell one step at a time. And then I open the door leading to darkness. I could see that the electricity was most likely out in the entire hospital. I pressed the switch on the flashlight on my chest and tried lighting the area. It's creepy, and yet there's nothing noticeably out of place. Chilly air drifts from the cold concrete, and it seems as if touching it would completely rob my body of its warmth. While moving through the corridor, I try opening the doors as I come to them. Of them, one opens with a creak. Emergency generator is written on the machine that occupies most of the room. To reach the second floor and above it did not look like there was any method other than using the elevator. So without hesitation, I turn the machine on. I immediately head for the elevator, press the up button. The heavy sound of the motor and the sounds of metal parts coming into contact with each other almost sounds like intertwined screams. With a ding, the elevator stops and its doors slowly open. The inside of the elevator is large. It seems to be about big enough to accept 3 hospital beds. Buttons for each floor are lined up to the right of the elevator, marked 3, 2, 1, and B from the top down. First I head to the second floor. However, after I step off the elevator, I find that the door connected to the corridor that leads to the rooms on this floor is locked. No alternative. Third floor. Same. Well, what now? Hey, we're doing the Silent Hill 1 thing. Look, I went back into the elevator and I couldn't believe my eyes. Of the buttons for each floor, 3 was definitely the highest just before, but now a new 4 button has been added. The elevator doors open with a familiar sound, and I step out onto the 4th floor. Again, I think? A condition extremely similar to that which I encountered after passing through the basement in the clock tower. The elementary school was present right in front of me. That just felt weird. That sentence. Dark red rusted walls, metal grated floors, and a ringing in my ears that seems to creep up from the depths of hell as a menace to my mental state. I open the door in front of me, and a long corridor extends beyond it. I very carefully move forward while keeping my eyes fixed on the wall. Could Cheryl be here? The only way to find out is to search this place. Huh. I can hear something in the darkness in front of me. It sounds like the groan of something dragging on the ground. The owner of that groan is slowly closing in on me, but I cannot see what it is for sure with the faint light of my flashlight. I instantly ready my gun. Leave. You know what? Fair point. Either one. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? I'm seeing an option for A, ready the gun. Does anybody else wish to weigh in? I do see leave. A again. I forgot what this was, like a spooky nurse, but it looks like we're leaning more in the A direction. It is probably not human. I firmly grip the gun, position my finger on the trigger, begin to walk toward it with the gun ready beside my face. Eventually, something white enters the field of vision. I adjust the aim of the flashlight on my chest with my hand and shine light on it. A white figure appeared, which is stooped over like an old woman. It looked to have undergone a grotesque change. Ah! The monster has a very large hump on its back, which twitches and moves as if it were alive. In one hand it holds a knife, which it waves as it approaches me. In the instant I readied my gun, the monster began to run. By the time I realized this, it slashed at me. I instantly dodged the attack, and thanks to that my clothes were slashed and I had only a scratch on my side. I suppose I was lucky. Damn! I kick it in the face with the bottom of my shoe, and it falls down on its back and begins to stand for its next attack. I close my left eye and steady my aim. Even after one shot hits, its movement does not change at all. Ooh. I fire more bullets at it. It is laughing. In a voice great enough to shake the entire world, it laughs as its face twists and distorts. I cannot give up. When the final bullet loaded into my gun hits, it finally stops laughing. This time it's face down and I begin crushing it with my foot. Finally, it completely stops moving. This is insane. Another monster approaches from behind the corpse of the first one. At this rate, all the bullets in the world will not be enough. All I can do is run. Run past the monster in front of me. Run past the monster behind me. Oh my goodness, what's it gonna be? The one in front of me is dead. No, wait. Would it be, though? Did I pass the monster that I just killed? I mean, I'm going to assume that running past the monster behind me is retreating. I'm seeing conflicting votes here. Yeah, right? General Ledger? Like, which one's on the floor? Like, I can't quite tell. We are just evenly split. It looks like we are slightly eking out an A. I begin to run towards the monster in front of me. Evading the large swings of its knife, I run down the dark corridor, occasionally stumbling. I see a staircase leading down. I race down it, knowing not whether if something is waiting for me or not at its base. I'm thinking about Cheryl. Even if she's held prisoner somewhere in this hospital, there's no guarantee that I can rescue her. Rescue her, I guess. In fact, there's no reason that the staircase I'm descending should lead me to Cheryl. I begin to think that all my current actions are all meaningless. However, generally speaking, since I arrived in Silent Hill, no. Since the day before leaving for Silent Hill, no. Even longer ago, no. Actually, no. Since the day I met Cheryl, no. Since before that, no. Perhaps I have had no choice in my actions. They've been predetermined by the someone's will. That does make sense. The mysterious someone. As I continue to the base of the stairs, I contemplate, what if my life up to this point had just been on one track? As I descend the stairs, my ears began ringing again. The ringing is so forceful that it cannot even be compared to before, and it forces me to squat down. Hello there, Tails Gaming. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? What in the world has happened? Perhaps I have opened the door to hell, a door that should never be opened. Something is clearly changing, and it is for the worse. Going back will not be permitted. I must move forward. Forward, I put my hands together on my head and squeeze my temples tightly by using my elbows. The ringing then begins to sound like a demon is whispering in my ears. However, it doesn't stop. I blindly begin to run. Even if I am to die in this mad land, I must save my beloved Cheryl first. Believing that the answers are beyond the door, I know that I must discover at least one clue. Several overlapping square figures are shaking in time with the sound of my heart. It is the wall at the end of the area. Another wall lies perpendicular to it. There's a door present on this wall with a plate on it that says Storehouse. Some chemicals have been placed on the table that is next to the door. There are 3 beakers of different sizes and a test tube. The test tube contains a liquid that is of a different color to that which is in the leftmost beaker. I found a memo. To create it, you must come up with 1 deciliter of liquid and pour it into the test tube. No more, no less, that man had said. But there are no graduations in the beakers. This makes it impossible to come up with 1 deciliter using these 3 large beakers, or deciliter. Explanation of controls. Select the beaker, confirm. Choose the beaker you want to pour it into, confirm. So this is like that riddle. How do I get exactly the right amount of liquid? The door won't budge an inch. Oh no, do I choose this beaker? So we have another puzzle on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see if I could find the thing so I can make my life a little bit easier. Alright, so let's move the liquid from this to here without spilling any. Do you choose this beaker? So now I have 5 and 5, right? So now let's do this to this. This to this. Here to here. Here back. There. And here's our 7, ladies and gentlemen. Got it! Oh, we just didn't translate that part. But I dissolved the chain is the point. Harry melted the chain on the door with a completed liquid. The door slowly opens with a click. Inside the storehouse, nothing important looking stands out. I carefully edge between the simple metal shelves that have been placed here in a specific arrangement. However, there is nothing here that makes this room worthy of being called a storehouse. I am drawn toward the cabinet in the back of this room. This is because I found the presence of the wooden cabinet strange and unsuitable for this simple room. I try and approach the cabinet and try to open it. However, it will not budge. Well, I'll look at the floor under the cabinet. I'll look inside the cabinet. I'll look on top of the cabinet. Wow, chat, we have options. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? I'm curious about this one. So, any decisions here? I see one for looking at the floor under the cabinet. Yeah, there's no beside the cabinet. Yeah, sorry. I see floor, I see top. Anybody else? Multiple C's, multiple A's. Nobody cares about looking inside the cabinet, which is kind of funny. Looks like we're slightly eking out the A's, though. The floor. If there's an important clue inside this cabinet, then I should be able to open it right away. But then I gradually come to understand that there is no need to do so. The necessity of the cabinet here is thin, as anything can be used to satisfy the requirement. If something is needed to block my path, then a bunch of stones could work just as well. I thought this as I looked at the scratches in the floor that were the same width as the cabinet. The marks on the floor are still fresh. They tell me that some human probably came down here. Is there something beyond the cabinet? Using my body weight, I slowly push the cabinet from its original position. The existence of the inviting door behind the cabinet seems completely natural, so of course I place my hand on it. The room is very inorganic. While shining my flashlight about, I move through the room and eventually discover a grate in the floor. From between the bars and the grate, I can see a staircase that leads to a lower floor. The grate makes a clunk sound as I open it. It's quite heavy. Even though I'm sure of my strength, I do not believe that I could pick it up. After opening the grate enough so that I could pass through it, I gently place one foot on the staircase that has appeared. Slowly and cautiously, confirming each step as I go, I descend the staircase to a mad place in which light cannot reach. You don't need the inn. Finally, I reach a wide room, much wider than I imagined. I guess this based on the echoes of my footsteps. Run. I'm running. Through this eerie space that lies in the basement of the hospital. It is lifeless and there is no light. All I can do is run through it. Does this world have an end? Or did it even have a beginning? Everywhere I go, all that I do is solve the mysteries that appear one after the other. and then move on. I understand this and expect that the same situation will continue. Still, all I can do is move forward. My thinking always results in this conclusion. The door has awaited me. I slowly turn the knob. The inside of this room is different from the ones I have encountered up to this point, and I can feel life in here. There are traces and a sense that someone was in this room. I softly pick up the picture frame that was displayed on the desk. Alessa. That is engraved on the picture frame. I gaze at the picture. It's a face I think I've seen somewhere. I try to remember where as hard as I can, but in the end I cannot remember at all. But I'm sure that I have met this girl somewhere, and more than just once. A diary has been placed next to the picture frame. I reach out with my hand. Pick it up. But what am I picking up, chat? The diary or the picture? I really don't know where we're going with this. Yeah, the music is pretty great. I see, an option... Well, I see conflicting options. It looks like we're slowly leaning... Okay, well now it's becoming overwhelming. We're going with diary. Something is written in the diary. April 15th. From today, this will be my new diary. Lisa secretly gave this to me as a present, and it means that soon I should be able to take my bandages off. A bird landed on a branch of the tree outside my window. I gazed at it for a bit. Seeing those beautiful colors, I thought again that it must be spring. I wish I could play outside like the other children. It is now afternoon, and they have come again. I pretended to be asleep, and it looks like they did not notice. They talk quietly as not to be heard outside my room. I do not understand the meaning of what they discussed. They never talk in this room, I thought. April 16th. Someone is talking outside my room. It sounds serious, but it doesn't seem to be about me. Perhaps it's because he doesn't want to disturb me? Even the hospital director has not come to see me much lately. I don't like the director very much, so I'm honestly quite happy. P.S. By some strange chance, I learned a certain person is coming to visit me. April 17th. Everyone has been in a rush for some reason since before sunrise this morning. Something about a dead person coming back to life. Does that really happen? It's a frightening story. And because of that, my meal was a little late. The cold soup is disappointing. Suddenly I remembered him. Maybe he's forgotten me, but I definitely remember him. Lately I think of him often. I want to see him. It looks like my visitor is coming on the evening of the day after tomorrow. Before then, just once. April 18th. It's finally tomorrow! I will not tell anyone about this. If I tell anyone, they'll probably strap me to my bed. Before they arrive, the friend that could share my feelings. The only one. I wonder if she'll realize this. Tonight I'll go to bed early. 19th. I must get out of here. For the first time in a while, I've worn my favorite pendant. Does it look good on me? I'll write about the results here tomorrow. 20th. The last page is blank. I place the diary under my arm and prepare to leave the room. However, my eyes once again return to the picture frame that the diary had been placed next to. She was all alone, but I have Cheryl. The girl in the picture is appealing to me for something. In the painful silence, I could feel a spiritual message. After wavering, I removed the picture from the frame and slid it into my pocket. Then I left the room. Alessa. Alessa. Just who is she? And why was her picture on display in the deep basement of the hospital? And where was that strange feeling of a life that I sensed in that room coming from? I'm unable to figure any of it out. And so I am irritated. I head for the examination room on the first floor. All the mysteries of the hospital are surely prepared in that room. Believing so, I race up the stairs while having difficulty breathing. When I open the door to the examination room, I feel the presence of a person stop moving. The inside of the room is dark. Someone is here. Who is it? Slowly approach. Fire the gun. What's it gonna be? And this is a decision that affects things, by the way. This actually matters. I do see a vote for A, slowly approach. I see fire, I see approach. Yeah, but you're out of bullets, maybe. Most people are saying slowly approach. Hey! Once the woman realized that I was human, she ran toward me and threw her arms around me like a child would. Finally, someone else who's okay. After mumbling those words in a tearful voice, she held me more tightly. Who are you? My name's Lisa Garland. What's yours? Harry Mason. After we exchanged our simple introductions, I sat in a chair and she sat in the bed so that we were facing each other. The woman that called herself Lisa had blonde hair and an intelligent look to her. Maybe she might know something. At the moment I was about to speak, the woman began talking. Harry, tell me what's happening here. Where is everybody? I must have gotten knocked out. When I came to, everyone was gone. Her voice did not feel like it was coming from her body and was accompanied by a strange reverberation. It's awful. So you don't know anything either. Great. I just don't get it. It's like this is all some kind of bad dream. As I select my words, I have a feeling that even my own words are not coming from my body. Let me ask you. Yeah, a living nightmare. Let me ask you, have you seen a little girl around here, short black hair, 7 years old? I mutter Cheryl in a voice that Lisa would not hear. A 7-year-old girl? What, she's your daughter? Yes. A 7-year-old girl? I can't say that I have. I was unconscious all this time. I'm sorry. Ah, that's alright. That was just as I expected, but I continue asking questions without showing my disappointment. Do you know anything about all that weird stuff in the basement? No, why? Is there something down there? You don't know? Don't you work here? We're under strict orders to never enter the basement storeroom. After changing the subject to the hospital basement, I began to notice that my thoughts are becoming muddy. So I really don't know. What did you say was down there? Well, I try as hard as I can to remember the pitiful sight of that room in the basement. However, in trying to trace my memory back to then, that ringing, which had been gone for a while, returned to my ears. A sound like the bells of that church runs throughout my head. Damn, my head. What's wrong, Harry? Harry, let me help you. Harry. Lisa has vanished. Ugh. After a while, I notice that my body is freezing cold. It's as if I'm dead, but I'm clearly conscious. Where's Lisa? I was definitely talking to her in this examination room. I no longer feel the evil presence that I felt in this room. No, in this entire hospital up until just before. From the window, soft light is pouring into the room. Was I dreaming? As I slowly get up, I hear the sound of a door opening. I instantly look toward the source of the sound. The creepy woman I met at the church was standing there with an expressionless look on her face. You were too late. It's you. Yes, Dahlia Gillespie. Or Gillespie? Tell me everything you know. What's going on? Darkness. She responded before I was even done speaking. The town is being devoured by darkness. The woman continues while maintaining a devout look. Strength must overcome petty desire. Childish sleep talk. I knew this day would come. What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of this. Believe the evidence of your eyes. So I should believe the evidence of my eyes? I understand. I am in a situation in which I can only believe what I have seen with my own eyes. The other church in this town, that is your destination. This is beyond my abilities. Only you could stop it now. Have you not seen the crest marked on the ground all over town? So that's what I saw at the schoolyard. What does it mean? It is the mark of Samael. Don't let it be completed. Hey, wait! We good? The game didn't crash, did it? I mean, I can reset, that shouldn't be a problem. Because the game autosaves. But that's a bit concerning. I mean, we're about at the point where we gotta stop anyway, it's not that big of a deal, but like, all of a sudden, just nothing happened. Let's go back to it. Examination room. Lisa's vanished. Continue. After a while, Dahlia. Here she is. And she's out. There we go. Alright, that scared me a little bit. Dahlia Gillespie. She places an oddly shaped key on an examination table with a tap, spins around, heads to the door, and then opens it. I open the door that she closed and roll out into the hospital corridor, but she is nowhere to be seen. The other church. But if I exclude the church I already visited, I do not see anything that looks like a church on the map. I slowly open the phone book attached to the payphone in the corridor. In there, a mark is present to guide me. It is next to the phone number for an antique shop in the northeast area of the shopping district. The door to the antique shop is ominously open. The open door connects to a staircase leading down to the basement. At the end of the stairs, there is another door. I insert the key I was carrying and slowly turn it. The inside of the shop is small. I take a look around using my flashlight and find that the place is such a mess that it looks almost as if it has been ransacked by a thief. Is something here? At first glance, I don't think that there's anything here that concerns me. However, I did not miss that which was hidden behind a shelf. I move the shelf step by step, and an eerie passage leading into a darkness appears. What's this? Harry! I look back toward the familiar voice. Sybil? Sybil, who should have left for the next town over to call for backup, was there. I'm glad you're okay. I shouldn't have left you. Things are worse than I thought. It's nuts. What are you doing here? I thought you left town. I saw you go in here, so I followed you. I couldn't get out. All the roads out of town are blocked. Cars have completely stopped running. The phones and radios are still out, too. What about my daughter? Did you see her? I did see a girl. My heart began to beat faster. Was it Cheryl? I only caught a glimpse of her through the fog. I went after her, but she vanished. I don't know about your daughter, but... And you just let her go? Where was it? On Bachman Road. She was heading toward the lake. Now don't get excited, it wasn't like she ran off exactly. There was no place for her to go. The road has been obliterated. What? So then Cheryl... It was like she was walking on thin air. An uncomfortable silence occurs between the two of us. What about you? Anything? Yeah, I met this bizarre woman. Her name's Dahlia Gillespie. Do you know her? Dahlia Gillespie? No. And? She said something about the town being devoured by darkness. Gibberish like that. Any idea what it means? Darkness devouring the town? Must be on drugs. They sell them to tourists. The force still can't figure out who's behind it. None of our leads have panned out and the investigation is stalled. Drugs? Sybil's response was far from what I had imagined, so I shake my head back and forth. What could drug trafficking have to do with all this? I really don't know, but maybe that's the darkness she was talking about. That's all I could think of. Sybil looked slightly irritated and took a long breath. Then she shifted her gaze to the passage behind the shelf. What's this? Just discovered it. Maybe there's something back there. Let's have a look. Sybil? I will go first. I will let Sybil go first. I'll make the decision, but then I'm going to wrap up. So chat, what are we going to do? We go first or let her go first? I am seeing an option for us to go first. Anybody else want to weigh in? Let's find out. We're getting more options, but it looks like we're leaning a little more toward A right now. You let the competent one go first? Well, now we're even, though. But it looks like the A's have it. Alright, I'll go first. Wait, we don't know what's back there. I better check it out first. I'm a cop, I should go. No, I'm going, I said in a rough tone. Alright, I'll cover you from here. Be careful. If anything looks fishy, get back here on the double. Okay. I peer inside the hidden passage. Inside, it looks like an unseen barrier of darkness has been set up, which makes it look like a place no one should enter. I intuitively sense that it would be dangerous to move into this passage. It's that kind of passage. You know the one. I look back at Sybil once. Sybil? Yes? Do you know anything about, well, like some other world? Like some kind of bad dream? What are you talking about? I'm not quite sure. I try to make sense of it, but then my mind goes blank. Everything's dark there, and I hear sirens in the distance. I met this nurse, Lisa. It's like I was there, but not really. It's all a blur. Like some kind of hallucination, you know? I have no idea what you're talking about, Harry. Sybil spoke while shaking her head from side to side. Oh, I was just wondering. Never mind. Harry, you're tired. Yeah, maybe. Am I tired? Yes, I am tired. If that's all it is, then that's fine. If my being tired is what caused me to see all the hallucinations up to this point, then Cheryl should return to me. The only thing is the sensation I am feeling is not that of being tired. Rather, my body feels as if I've been on the floor sleeping continuously, like a human in cold sleep. And I'm feeling the agonizing suffering of not easily being able to escape from that state. Leaving Sybil behind, I step into the passage. I begin walking, carefully taking one step at a time. Sybil can probably no longer see me from where she is, even if I could see her from where I am. Alright, we're entering mystery area, and we're kind of getting toward endgame. So we'll finish this tomorrow, and we will have other stuff to take a look at. But this is where I'm going to wrap up, so thank you very much everyone for joining the stream, and have a wonderful night.